faces start to shine. Time will heal the faults, not mine. Every tear just fades away, stronger with each passing day. Am I right? I will find my guiding light. My love, see me reaching for the clouds. Drifting slowly through the sky, thoughts are floating, passing by. Every dream I try to find, lost inside the cloud on my mind. The cloud on my mind.
to our lead women's group here. No changes at all. Kosuke Sujime up front in this lead women's group. Fesa, Alemu, Ayana, others all tucked in right behind her. And again, not seeing our 2023 champ Rosemary Wanjiru here, but we will try to get, well, we will get a split on that here at 15 kilometers, and we'll see where exactly she is. That should be coming up just momentarily here as they're at 14.75 kilometers. Again, the women had a relatively conservative first 5 kilometers, but were edging very close to course record pace at 10 kilometers. I believe the projected finish there at 10 kilometers was 2:16.06. Oh, sorry, 2:16.01. Just 6 seconds off the course record. Men's race. The wild man, Ryuichi Hashimoto, all on his own. The only pacemaker, Taisei Nakamura, having dropped off at 10 kilometers as scheduled. Okay, there we go. Our lead women's pack, 15 kilometers, 48:12. 7 athletes in that group, led by defending champ Sutume Asakebede. 2:15.36 pace. Okay, so yes, things just continue to increment faster and faster here for this lead women's group. They are now on course record pace. 48:12 split at 15, projecting 2:15.36 for the finish. We have our lead group there. Yeah, Rosemary Wanjiru back in a second group, 18 seconds behind the leaders. You know, nothing wrong with that pace, still very solid. Wanjiru on 2:16.26 pace. Hashimoto on his own at 17 kilometers. He's just heading up to that turnaround point in Asakusa, and then we'll come back here, go across that bridge for the out and back section between 20 and 30 kilometers. Again, there you see there his 15 kilometer split, projecting a 2:02.08 course record, Japanese national record, winning time. You gotta love it. Okay, our men's pack, just main men's pack here, just biding their time. We're waiting for Hashimoto to come back. They have let him get pretty far away at this point. In the unlikely event that he was to hang on in any shape or form, it's getting close to a 1-minute lead. Could get interesting. Our next chase group.
Без комментария, но все равно спасибо.
Japanese and Canadian national record holders, among others. I also saw in that group Darase Workne, Japan-based Ethiopian course record holder at the Hofu Yomiuri Marathon with the 2:06.58 PB last December. Okay, here's our next group. Mostly Japanese group here. Also in that group, Irish record holder, Fergal Curtin. Hashimoto looks like he's feeling this, but I think in pretty much every race I've seen, he looks exactly like this. Actually, in that close-up shot, he looks okay. It's ambitious. Gotta give him that. soloing this. Coming up, there's a nice shot there. They head to the left of this little triangular block here in Asakusa, right in front of the Kaminari-mo gate, and then we'll make 2 sharp turns and begin the return trip. So it's not exactly a 180-degree turn point. This has been a feature of the Tokyo course since day one, although the number of 180-degree turn points has proliferated since then. Meanwhile, up front, our leader, Marcel Hook, 57 minutes through 30 kilometers. Nobody else inside. Hook has ticked over, no surprise there, has ticked over the 120, projected finish time now, 1:20:11. Beautiful shot there of Kaminari-mo, one of the main tourist spots in Tokyo. Tokyo Skytree there also visible. When runners make this right-hand turn, the first thing they'll see is Tokyo Skytree, one of the city's major landmarks. And the first one making that turn is, of course, Ryuichi Hashimoto. Just running a wild race here, opening up with no fear over some of the world's best. And that group now coming up to making the turn, but Hashimoto has already disappeared around the second turn, so he will be completely out of sight once they make it around this corner here. Thick crowds turning out. This is technically our second chase group. Coming up to make the turn. List of people in that group here. As I said, Work Nidarase, Japan-based Ethiopian Hofu marathon course record holder. Casey Klinger of the United States, also in that group. Very interestingly, a 2:16 marathon best from Chicago, but had an incredible 59:34 half marathon PB in Houston this past January. Certainly way better than what his 2:16:05 marathon in Chicago this past fall would have predicted. And really trying to capitalize on that half marathon performance here. Our next group, including Irish record holder Curtin and most of the top Japanese, also not making that turn. Out of the packs we've seen so far, that pack looks like it's having the most splintering going on. People falling off the back of the pack, not able to hang on to this pace. As we start to enter the very last part of the first half of the race. Hashimoto at 19 kilometers, coming up to 20 kilometers, where we'll see exactly where he stands on pace and lead over that chase group. Women's lead group, again, no change at all. It's just been edging slightly faster. Now on course record pace, but it's just been Kosuke and Tsutume side by side all the way so far, with a group of Ethiopian competitors tucked in right behind them. Bib number 52 in that group, Howie Fesa, the Chicago Marathon winner this past fall. Ranked number 1 in the field, really, with that 2:14:57 winning time in Chicago. Has not won in Tokyo. She was 3rd here last year. And so she's hoping to add her name to that list of Tokyo winners, as we have the 2022, 23, 24, and 25 Tokyo winners in the field. Yeah, as you can see there, the 15-kilometer split projected to a 2:15:35 winning time. That'll be 20 seconds under the course record set 2 years ago here in Tokyo by Tsutume Asafakebede. Okay. The least expected thing so far in the Tokyo Marathon this year. 2:09:40 runner Ryuichi Hashimoto. Only sub 210 once in his career so far. Otherwise, he had to break 2:15. Out on course record pace, running low 2:02 pace, all by himself in the Tokyo Marathon here. Coming up to 20 kilometers, he's just made that turn at Kuramae, heading onto the bridge, and at the peak of the bridge, he will hit 20 kilometers. So we'll see how his pace has changed, what that lead looks like at 20 kilometers. Still looks good. I mean, that's, as I said, that's how he usually looks, and so given that, he looks pretty good right now. But we'll see what the numbers say here at 20 kilometers. Again, this is probably the toughest section of the course. This bridge launches off a long section of undulations, ups and downs, that you hit both heading out and coming back on this back section. Skytree there, the big landmark that we mentioned that comes into sight with that left turn in Asakusa. Kind of dominates the skyline here on this part of the course. All right, and here we go. Hashimoto-san on that bridge, indeed. 20 kilometers, coming right up. Let's see what's what here. Hmm. 58:18 officially for our breakaway leader, Ryuichi Hashimoto. 2:03 flat, 2:03.00. Projected finish. So yeah, he has dropped off a little bit from that from course record pace. Let's see what the lead, chase group has here. Yeah, so they are closing down the lead a bit. It was over 40 seconds, now down to 32 seconds. So main group here is on 2:03.30 pace. Okay, so again, like slower start for this group, but they're starting to pick it up now, and definitely reeling in our breakaway leader Hashimoto. Next group with all of the other front-running Japanese athletes. China's Yang, Canada's 11s, 59:34. It's looking like 59:34. That's 2:05.40 pace. So they've also slowed quite a bit there. Again, the main thing that all the Japanese men in this group will be looking for is to be either under 2:06.30 or within the top 6 Japanese there in order to have a shot at making the LA Olympic Marathon Trials in the fall of 27. The earlier people can get that out of the way, the better. Yeah, confirmation there. Hashimoto on 2:03 flat pace now. So his projected finish slowed 52 seconds over that last 5K. Meanwhile, the pack behind him has sped up slightly. And that third chase group that I said has started to splinter, it looks like it's really blown up. Almost everybody on their own now. It looks like there's only maybe 3 or 4 athletes still together. Since that group ahead of them has slowed down so much, it's quite likely we'll see those the last few surviving people from that third group join that group or even pass them, much like what happened last year. Meanwhile, leader Hashimoto through halfway. Looked like about 1:01.30 flat there. We'll get official confirmation of that. That's consistent with his 20-kilometer split, 2:03 flat pace. So even though he's slowing, gotta say he is still on track to hit that 2:03.59 fast pass, the auto qualifier for the LA Olympics, and well, yeah, well under Japanese national record pace. Okay, main group there, just under 102 at halfway, so essentially skimming right along at 204 flat pace, or just under. Looks like we've lost one of our pacers from that group. Yeah, so you can kind of get a sense there from that shot. There's one of those little undulations that I mentioned. They're not significantly steep or tall, but there's just a regular series of them every few hundred meters, and you do hit this section both ways. There's a turnaround point, and so just at this point in the race, you know, from halfway, cutting for 30 kilometers, it is pretty draining to be doing that that kind of undulation. Kondo, debut marathon record holder Kondo with China's Yang right there. Yang on. Oh, sorry, Feng. Feng is on national record pace for China. Only one Chinese athlete having broken 207 before. Feng does have a 207.06 PB from Valencia 2 years ago. So a significant step up in quality from that for him, running just under 206 pace at halfway. Again, Hashimoto has slowed a bit, but not much change in his appearance. He's looked pretty much like this the whole way so far, as usual in his other races. Yeah, so not including pacers, 14 in that main chase group right behind him, and then a significant gap back, or about the same kind of distance between Hashimoto and that chase group as between that chase group and the group of the main Japanese athletes. Okay, women's group, 20 kilometers, 1:04.09. Yeah, so quite a bit faster than last year. That's a 2:15.21 projected finish. So the women's race just continues to increment faster and faster under that course record, the 2:15.55 course record here. Looks like Elemu has dropped off a little bit from this group, probably at the very back of the group, but 6 athletes here still on course record pace at 20 kilometers in the women's race. 20 kilometers is still very early going, especially with conditions expected to worsen as we go along here. But yeah, really it's just Bridget Kosgei with our course record holder, defending champ, Situme of Ethiopia, Kebede on her bib, running right with her, tailed by an ever so slightly dwindling group of Situme's Ethiopian compatriots. So yeah, having made that turn off the bridge, the lead women now are onto this kind of undulating out and back section. Looks like one of the male pacers has stopped there. Stopped to look for his drink, maybe. Hashimoto, yes. He may be slowing, but certainly not blowing up yet. Just under 20k to go for our breakaway leader, Ryuichi Hashimoto. Yeah, you know, still looking okay. Very shortly here, just around 23.5 kilometers, so make a left turn to that last section before the next turnaround point on the course. Head back. Another one of those undulations that makes this section so challenging. Most Japanese athletes at this level compete for corporate teams within Japan, semi-pro teams, with a main emphasis on the New Year Ekiden on January 1st, and Road Relay National Championships for the corporate men's teams on January 1st. Some of those teams very high level. Hashimoto's team, kind of a second tier one, so surprised to see him this hard up front. Shot here of our presumably our chase pack in the men's wheelchair race, rounding that corner in Ginza, quite a ways behind our leader Marcel Hug, coming down to the very end of the race, 38 kilometers. This is that long out and back section down to the turnaround point en route towards Shinagawa. Yeah, 35 kilometers, Hug's lead over second placer Luo of China. Almost 5 minutes. Hug has progressively slowed as things have gone along. Doesn't look like it's going to be a sub 120 race, but no problem whatsoever. Still going to be just a dominant win here for the great Marcel Hug of Switzerland. Hug also having picked up the 8 bonus points for that sprint, that 10 kilometer sprint challenge by being the top athlete at 10 kilometers. 23.5 kilometers, there's that turn I mentioned earlier. Monzen Nakacho neighborhood, eastern Tokyo. Just a few hundred meters further, and Hashimoto will make that turnaround point. He'll be able to see just how much closer the chase pack has gotten to him. His lead was up over 40 seconds a bit earlier in the race. Clearly less than that now. They'll just undoubtedly catch him before 30 kilometers, but the question is how long he can hang on. One of the major landmarks there in this neighborhood, Tomioka Hachimangu Shrine. The turnaround point just in front of the entrance to that shrine. Hashimoto making the turnaround in Monzen Nakacho just before 24 kilometers. Again, he had a lead of over 40 seconds at one point. Well, let's get a count on it here. 18 seconds. His lead is now down to 18 seconds, so they are closing the gap on our breakaway leader. Starting to see some casualties off the back of this lead pack now. Pretty consistent with how the Tokyo course has been run in the past. This is the section where you usually start to see these this type of separation in the lead groups. Speaking of which, we'll try to see what is happening here with the second group. That third group had kind of blown up as the second group slowed. We'll see if people are closing it down. Yeah, we can see several people coming up. Several have fallen off that group. You can see Ryu Takaku and Koki Takada have fallen off the second group. Meanwhile, Masato Aro and a few others starting to close up from the third group to the back of the second group. The debuting Shinsaku Kudo still just staying very steadily at the back of that pack, running conservatively here. I mentioned Takaku, Takara, both having fallen off that lead pack. Chase group here. Arao, Curtin, Ichiyama, a couple of others. Hashimoto just a bold race here. Just no other word for it, really. Well, I guess there are other words for it, but bold it is. Coming up to 25 kilometers. And that gap just continues to close. It was 18 seconds at that turnaround point just before 24 kilometers. I'm not sure it's within 10 seconds at this point, but it certainly will be soon enough. Hashimoto almost running the tangent there. Yeah, some of the, definitely that chase pack being a little bit more aware on that corner, cutting the shortest course. Hashimoto, 25 kilometers. Like 1:13:08, yes, 1:13:08 official confirmation there. 2:03:27 pace, so still well under national record pace, well on track for that fast pass LA auto qualifying mark. Yep, lead group 12 seconds back, or sorry, chase group 12 seconds back. 1:13:20 projecting to a 2:03:46. So yeah, while Hashimoto is just incrementing slower, the chase group is ratcheting it up now. Expect them to catch him within at least the next 2-3 kilometers. Main chase group here. Okay, Hashimoto on his way back up to cross back over that bridge, back into central Tokyo for the critical last 12 kilometers of the race. Here's that chase group. We've got Fang of China. This is the second chase group, trying to close up the gap onto that main group. Got Klinger of the United States in this group with Ichiyama, Arao. They've run down two of the stragglers from that lead group. You can see Takaku's off the back, former 206 runner running his last marathon here. 207 man, Takada further back. And from back to up front, we have the great Marcel Hook cruising in the last 500 meters to a victory at the 2026 Tokyo Marathon. After having some company in that first 10 kilometers, it's been almost entirely a solo effort here from Hook. One of the only streets in Tokyo with cobblestones, and they make it the last kilometer. I'm sure the wheelchair racers appreciate it, but still. Here we go, Hook making that last corner now. Just going to miss clipping under 1:21, but an excellent winning time here. The great Marcel Hook of Switzerland takes another victory at the Tokyo Marathon here in 2026. 1:21:09 unofficially. We'll get an official time there. 1:21:09 officially. Victory for Switzerland's Marcel Hook. Congratulations to him. Just a dominant win. It'll be at least 5 minutes before we see our next finisher come across the line. No major surprise there. What has been the major surprise so far, Hashimoto, also no surprise, anymore to see him just on the cusp of being caught by this main chase group containing all of our top entrants here in the race, led by defending champ Tadase Takale of Ethiopia. Just tucked in right in the center, right behind the Pacers, Alexander Mutiso, longtime Japan-based Kenyan, 2024 London winner. Narrowly missed out winning in New York in November. He is based in Yamagata up north, runs for the ND Software corporate teams, teammates of Arao and Takeuchi, who are in that third Japanese group. Just seems to like the rural environment, the people. He did train for this in Kenya, for this year's race in Kenya, but is based in Japan, remains based in Japan much of the year. Matiso and the others catching our early leader Hashimoto at 26.5. A little bit of a head wobble there from Hashimoto now, so it certainly seems to be feeling the burn at this point. So now the question now for Hashimoto is just how well he can hang on. He's certainly slowing. He's getting passed by this group that is accelerating, but there's still plenty of carrots ahead of him. There's that 2:03.59 LA auto qualifying mark. There's the 2:04.55 national record. Lots of motivation for him to try to hang on to some degree over the remaining portion of the race. But as I said in Osaka last week, we saw the runner Yoshida, who tried to do that kind of breakaway early on, ended up in the 209s, and with Hashimoto having only a 209.40 PB, we'll see how it plays out for him. Just looking the 25 kilometer, as they're hitting 27 kilometers, the 25 kilometer projected finish time for this group was 2:03.46, and just looking very calm and controlled in that group on this pace is Italy's Ilias Awani, 2:06.06 PB, so it's just very fast for him. But as I mentioned, when I spoke with his agent yesterday, he said that Awani's main goal here is the 2:03.36 European record. So 2:03.36 is the European record. Awani currently on 2:03.46 pace and seems to be accelerating at 27 kilometers. Potential exciting development there. Back to our women's race. We're seeing a few people dropping off now. No change at all in our top two, Kosuke and Tsutume side by side. Tsutume Kevade. Just behind them. One Ethiopian athlete we haven't mentioned yet, Bertikan Welde, runner-up in Amsterdam, winner in Prague last year. Top women 120 flat at 25 kilometers. Very solid. .2:15.02 projected finish. Yep, so just continuing to push further and further under that course record pace. Howie Fesa has dropped off this group, so it's down to our two favorites, past Tokyo champions, Tsutume Asifa Kebede and Bridget Kosuke, with a bit of dark horse competition there from 2:17.56 best athlete Berkitan Welde of Ethiopia. Again, runner-up in Amsterdam last fall, winner in Prague last spring, making her Tokyo Marathon debut here. Bertikan did have an excellent 1:07.15 win at a half marathon in the Netherlands earlier this year. Yeah, so things change quickly here in the marathon. Hashimoto far in the distance now behind this lead group. It's just a question for him of trying to hang on the best he can with almost 50 kilometers left of running. One other casualty out of this lead group now. Ten left in that group, including both of our past champions in the race, Tadase Takele and Cheladeso. Main Japanese group. So at least three, I'm spotting at least three national record holders in this group. Osaka for Japan and Levens for Canada, of course. Along with Sweden's Solden Hussan, who ran a 2:05.57 national record here in Tokyo last year. Feng of China also on national record pace in that group. Only one pacer left. As the lead group of men approaches 30 kilometers. Again, projected finish time, here they go. Make this corner across the bridge back towards central Tokyo on 30 kilometers. And again, the projected finish has inched down into 2:03 territory, so Italy's Awani is actually getting close to that European record pace. This is that main chase group now, second group. Starting to look like Canada's Levens, struggling a little bit. Maybe just a stride or two off the back of that pack. But they still have a long ways to go to catch front-running Japanese man Hashimoto. They almost certainly will. So yeah, a few other stragglers, again, off the back of that pack. But Levens of Canada does look to be a stride or two behind. And as you can see, the third group is closing up on that. I see Arao has dropped off, Ichiyama and a few others remaining in that chase group, coming up behind the main Japanese group. Alexander Machiso flexing a little bit here, leading the group behind the last remaining pacer. Less than 4 minutes of running until they hit that 30-kilometer point where this pacer is scheduled to drop off, and then we'll see what kind of race it's going to be from there to the finish. Not going to be anywhere near the course record here in Tokyo. Potential European record. And here's that main chase group. Second group. Ota of Japan there, memorably went with the, he was a Hakone Ekiden star in college, memorably went with the lead group here in Tokyo last year, only to drop out after 30 kilometers. Hasn't been spectacular in his two marathons since then, but trying to run a little bit more conservatively here, just to tick the box on his Olympic trials qualification. So I'm counting 5 Japanese men in that pack. Again, top 6 have a chance to qualify for the trials if they are under 2:09. Our lead foods group. No change. Still a 3-way race. Howie Fesa has dropped off slightly. Still visible kind of towards the back of those the group of stragglers after this lead pack. Yeah, just again, confirmation that the women are on 2:15.01 course record pace. And just like the men as well, inching faster and faster after a relatively conservative start. back into central Tokyo. Getting some support there from the masses. Large part of the Tokyo Marathon course does feature traffic both directions. You know, it's exciting for the masses to see the leaders going by, and for the elites, it's great to get a boost of energy from all the cheering. We'll see what kind of race that boost of energy does produce here momentarily as the lead group of men are about to hit 30 kilometers here at the Tokyo Marathon. Clear shot there of Selimon Barrega, gold medalist in the 10,000 meter at the Tokyo Olympics. 2:05:15 win in Seville last year. He was in Tokyo for the Tokyo Legacy Half Marathon in October, where he won in 61:22. In this lead group here, as they hit 30 kilometers, 1:28:02 officially, 1:28:02. 2:03:50, so slightly slower relative to where they were at 25 kilometers. 25 kilometers, the projected finish was 2:03:47. Now projecting to 2:03:50. Main question here, now that this the pacer has stopped, is if this is going to slow down, be a strategic race, wait for the end, see who's the strongest last kick, or if somebody's really going to try to hammer, break this pack apart, and cut down the competition. Yeah, you can really hear how loud those cheers are from the mass participation runners there. Just hitting the 15-kilometer point as the leaders have gone through 30. Four Kenyans, 4 Ethiopians, 1 Italian in this lead group. All talent. Okay, chase group here. Fang of China pushing it a bit at the string station. Debuting Richard Kim Yunyan there in yellow. Excellent half marathoner. All-time Japanese top 2, Osako Suzuki. Debut marathon record holder Kondo. Debuting collegiate Kudo. Ota, Canadian national record holder Levens. Swedish national record holder Hassan. Maybe one other in this chase group here. Yeah, Kipkoech of Kenya, also in this chase group. Mutiso front and center in the lead group here. Oh, cutting away to our women's wheelchair race. Catherine de Bruyne of Switzerland, course record holder here in Tokyo with a 1:35:6 win last year. 1:34:16 personal best, that being the world record in that memorable race in Berlin 3 years ago, where she won by just 1 second over Great Britain's Eden Rainbow Cooper. Now in the last 500 meters here on these cobblestones in the Tokyo Marathon, coming in to the win. Again, not quite as fast as her course record last year. Looking like it'll be a high 1:37 race, mid to high 1:37 here, winning time for de Bruyne. Maybe mid 1:37, still an excellent time. That's a time only 3 athletes in the field have ever run. Coming in to win the 2026 Tokyo Marathon Women's Wheelchair title. Another win for the great Catherine de Brunner of Switzerland. 1:37.15. 1:37.15 for the win. Again, excellent time. Not many women in the field have gone that fast. On any course. But much like we saw with the men's wheelchair race, Marcel Hug won by a significant margin over 5 minutes. Looking like it's going to be much the same for Catherine de Brunner here in the women's race. Back to our elite men's race. Coming up to 10 kilometers to go here still. Alexander Matiso and Vincent Nedich of Kenya up front in this lead group. Awani of Italy there. Faster than he's ever gone before, but running the same kind of race he did in the World Championships, that just calm and controlled. That took him all the way to the bronze medal. Close to his target of European record pace. But get the feeling that the next 5 kilometers split, 35 kilometers, we may see that the projected finish has slowed quite a bit here, since that pacer has dropped out. Okay, Feng of China, national record pace, just about to run down our early leader, Hashimoto of Japan. Broken away from that chase group. Suzuki of Japan, followed by Osako, Kimunyan, Cam Levins of Canada, Kondo, Kudo. A little bit of a gap back to Hassan of Sweden. Aoi of Japan, Aoi Ota, appears to have dropped off this group. Still over 10 kilometers to go, but yeah, Feng is feeling it, Feng of China. Chinese national record is just sub 207. I believe it's 206.57. Apologies if I'm a couple seconds off on that. Feng very close on a PB 207.06. Former national record holder Suzuki of Japan right there with Feng. Levins of Canada trying to pull up on this. Get up to roll with Feng and Suzuki here. Pulling the rest of the pack along behind him. You know, Suzuki did run that 204.56 former national record 5 years ago at Lake Biwa, and has struggled a bit since then, but dropped a half marathon PB unexpectedly at the Houston half in January, 60.56. So really in good shape, having trained the last couple months in Boulder alongside the man who broke his national record, Suguru Osako. Back to our women's race. Still, as it has been right since the start, we have Bridget Kosgei and course record holder Sajima Kebede side by side. 30 kilometers. 30 kilometers for them. I believe Bridget Welde is still right there behind them. 1:35.53. 1:35.53 at 30 kilometers. 2:14.52. So yeah, just the pace is on. Just keeps going faster and faster. Seen Kosuke grimace a couple times there in the last few seconds. But still side by side, just pushing each other faster and faster here. Just a record-breaking pace. Further. A little bit of a surge there from Sutume as Kosuke went for some water. Kosuke wincing a bit again there, and again. I have a feeling we may see a change the next time we come back to them. Not much change up front in our men's race. Still 9, group of 9 here. Front running Japanese man now, Kengo Suzuki. Feng of China has pulled away from Suzuki, coming up towards 35 kilometers. As they're barreling down on some casualties from that lead group. So just expect to see more and more of that as the race is going along here. But just a fantastic race here from Feng of China. I don't know how many national records we will see today, but Feng of China looks like he's on for one at the very least as he makes the turn at Ginza. Kengo Suzuki also having a good one. Levins of Canada and others in this main chase group. That third group that looked like it was about to enter orbit does look like it's dropped off. Oh, enter orbit of that second group does look like it's dropped off. I don't see anybody from that group now in touch. But still no change at all in our front group here. Alexander Matiso leading 9 at the turn at Hibiya, 34 kilometers, Hibiya Park. It's a long out and back now to that last turnaround point. And 5 kilometers, almost straight back to the finish. It doesn't look like the wind is as bad. Just looking at some of those banners along the side of the course, it doesn't look like the wind is as bad as had been projected. It was looking like it was going to be about a 4 meter per second headwind once they make that last turnaround. But not seeing much evidence that the wind is anywhere near that strong. Not that it is that is strong. You can see that the banners are blowing a little bit, but doesn't look to be as bad as feared. Longtime Japanese resident Alexander Matiso, hoping to pick up his first Tokyo Marathon title here. Add that to his London Marathon win after having narrowly missed out on a win in New York in November. Okay, Suzuki coming back to this group now. Feng of China seems to be succeeding in pulling away, but the rest of this group has been a little bit more patient, taking its time. Pulled back in. Suzuki, who's given up on trying to follow Feng. Richard Kimunyan of Kenya there in yellow. Also a longtime Japanese resident, making his marathon debut here. Aoi in black with the sunglasses, visible having dropped off this group here. Still struggling to live up to his ambitions in the marathon. Cam Levins of Canada, Canadian national record holder, tucked in the back of this pack behind Japanese national record holder Suguru Osako and Swedish national record holder Solden Hassan. 2 out of this group of 7 making their marathon debuts here, Kim and Yan and Kudo. Our lead group. Just about to hit 35 kilometers. And there they go, 1:42. I think it was 57. Get official confirmation in a second here. 56. Yes, 1:42.56 at 35 kilometers for this lead group of 9. 2:04.06 projected finish. So yeah, it has slowed quite a bit since 30 kilometers and that last pacer stepping off when the projected finish was still 2:03.50. Now down to 2:04.06. European record not looking in the works for Alani of Italy, but certainly national record well and truly in the cards for him. Okay, we may be seeing the first casualty off this group. Seifu Tura of Ethiopia, 6th in Chicago last fall. 2:04.29 PB from Milan a few years back. 2:05.17 in that race in Chicago last fall. We saw him laboring a little bit earlier. He's now a couple strides behind his main pack after those sprint tables. Okay, main chase group here, led by Hassan of Sweden. It's like 1:44.19 at 35 kilometers. Yeah, 1:44.19 at 35 kilometers. 2:05.46 projected finish for this big group here. 2:05.46, so nowhere near the Japanese national record. 10 seconds off Canadian national record for Cam Levins, who also seems to be a strategy behind this group now. Potential national record here, potential national record for Hassan of Sweden, 2:05.57 here in Tokyo last year, currently on 2:05.46 pace with 7 kilometers of running yet to go. Okay, but up front, Seifu Tura of Ethiopia has pulled back up to this group. Still 9 left as they approach the final turnaround point on the Tokyo Marathon course, and then it's just almost a complete straightaway back to the finish. Just 2 quick turns to get onto that cobblestone last kilometer, and then 1 turn right before the finish. Well, that looking at the flags and the barriers and the banners here, it does look like the wind is blowing, so they will be turning into a headwind here momentarily. Headwind most of the way back, almost the entire way back to the finish. But again, not super strong. Not a super strong wind, and you know, it could be a blessing if the temperatures are increasing here, especially with the left side of the road as we're looking at it right now, the return trip back up being almost entirely exposed to the sun. They're still picking up a lot of shade on this side of the road, but once they make a turnaround, they're going to be running mostly in the sun, so a little bit of wind could actually help. Yeah, okay, so as we see again, Seifu Tura of Ethiopia, who had dropped off just before that last water station, now fading again. Looks like also Vincent Nedich. Mukhtar Edris. I believe that's Barrega. Also falling off now. So yeah, Edris trying to hang on, but essentially it's down to 5 up front. Daniel Mateko of Kenya side by side with Mutiso in the front row there. Mateko's best performance at 2:04.24 for third in Valencia 2 years ago. Certainly puts him in contention for a race that's going on a low 2:04 pace. Japanese national record holder Suguru Osako now exerting a bit of control on this chase group, stringing them up. Single file, Kudo, the debuting Kudo, struggling to hang on to sub 2:06 pace. You know, his half marathon best 60:06 certainly suggests that he has low 2:06 potential here. Kondo, Hassan also starting to drop off now. Levins of Canada hanging in. This is Kudo, still in college. He's been an extremely talented uphill runner on the Hakone Ekiden's legendary mountain climbing 5th stage, and then also that stellar 60:06 half marathon. Oop, Awani now dropping off. Just 4 left up front. Alexander Mutiso, Tadase Tekele, Jeffrey Trojic, and Daniel Mateko. Awani fading in a big hurry there. Run down by Edris, who had dropped off that pack earlier. As our lead quartet about to hit that final turnaround point momentarily here. Beautiful shot there of one of the icons of Tokyo architecture, Rainbow Bridge. Just adjacent to that final turnaround point of the Tokyo course. Given what happened in New York, you got to figure Mutiso does not want to leave this to the last second. Expect him to see him just start to ratchet it down here if he's really going for the win. Go for a long bomb. Try not to leave it to the last second. And there they go. Mateko and Mutiso lead the quartet around that last turnaround point. Chase group coming up. Fang of China, very likely still on national record pace here. Osako leading that splintery chase group. Looks like just Kimunyan, Suzuki, Levins behind him. A little bit of a couple steps back to Hassan of Sweden, Kondo. The debuting collegiate runner Kudo from Waseda University. A couple other stragglers from that lead group. And then a little ways back we have our chase pack here. Sighting there of Tsubasa Ichiyama, who pulled off a race much like this last year to take the top Japanese spot, coming up from behind to run down some of the faster Japanese runners. Fast up front. 4 runners left. Alexander Mutiso, second in New York last fall. Daniel Mateko, third in Valencia 2024. Defending champ, Tadase Tekele. Yeah, kind of as expected here in the women's race, we cut back and not sure exactly what we've seen there, but it looks like Bridget Kosuke was clocked first. Yes. Okay, so Bridget Kosuke actually has pulled away from Sutume. Asefa Kebede, I thought when we saw that Sutume was in front, but in fact at 35 kilometers, Bridget Kosuke, 1:50.40, leads our defending champion by 22 seconds. So looks like it's going to be the first win in 4 years of the Tokyo Marathon for Bridget Kosuke. 1:51.40, projecting to 2:14.38. So yeah, I mean, it's not like Satime's having a bad race here. She's still on course record pace, like well on track to break her own course record by a minute or so. But Bridget Kosgei, way ahead now, 2:14:38, just getting faster and faster, like a minute 20 seconds or so under that course record pace. Yeah, back up to our lead quartet, still all four together. Matiso, Mateko, Tarotic, just behind our defending champ, Tadase Takale of Ethiopia. Anyone's race here. Not sure how much I believe the 3:02 followed by the 2:48 there. Kind of split those down the middle on that kilometer mark, but still like very good running here. Just waiting. This has got to be making Matiso nervous, given that very close loss in the last kick in New York in November. Osako and Suzuki right together. They've dropped all competition here, picking off people from that lead group. Osako, the fastest Japanese man ever at 2:04:55. Suzuki, all-time number 2 at 2:04:56. They trained together at altitude in the United States for this race. Now running right together for top Japanese honors here. They've just run down Shifera Tamru of Ethiopia. 2:05:18 best from Dubai, quite a ways back. So in fact, both these men, more accomplished, both these Japanese athletes have run under 2:05 in the past. Not going to do it today, but looking very likely that they will be Japanese 1-2 here in the Tokyo Marathon. Canada's Cam Levins trying to keep it rolling behind them. No change in the top four. Just a few steps back. Awani of Italy on national record pace, trying to hang with Mukhtar Edris of Ethiopia. Great track runner. Stepped up to the marathon, 2:05:59, 5th place in Boston last year. We're nearing 40 kilometers for this lead quartet. The pace did slow a bit after the final pacemaker stopped at 30 kilometers. After the pace having gotten down to the 2:03:40 range at 35 kilometers, it was projected to be just over 2:04. Let's see what we have here momentarily. So just completely focused. Defending champ, Tadase Takale, just biding his time right off Matiso's shoulder. Coming right up, 40 kilometers for the quartet here. Bit slower than what we saw last year at this point in the race. But we're setting this up for just extremely dramatic finish here. 1:57. I believe that was 28. Official confirmation coming up. 1:57:27 at 40 kilometers. Okay, so 2:03:54 projected finish. They have started pushing again after the turnaround point. All four athletes working together here to make this a faster race again. 2:03:54 projected finish time for all four of our top four, with 2 kilometers to go at the Tokyo Marathon. Anybody's race here, all four runners together. Torotic looks to be working a little bit harder after that drink table. He's dropped his stride back, but still in it. He does look to be laboring a little bit harder than the others. A little bit further back, you can see Aoni of Italy has lost contact with Edris, dropping back to 6th, but still well on national record pace for the Italian. Japanese national record holder Osaka still in control here, but right there with him is all-time Japanese number 2. Yeah, just 1 second, Kengo Suzuki. Tamru of Ethiopia hanging with them as well, 2:05 runner. Just Osaka completely focused, trying to catch up to Feng of China, who's also looking ready to set a national record here today in Tokyo. It's interesting, Osaka now runs for the Chinese brand, leading. To see a Chinese athlete run the top, a Japanese athlete in Japan would really be something. Took like 1:59:25 for Feng at 40 kilometers. 2:05:59 projected finish time for him, so close to a minute under national record pace for Feng of China. Well, the question there is whether he's going to get under 2:06, and well, the other question being whether he can hold off Osaka and Suzuki. Okay, well, Torotic starting to make a push here. First time we've seen him really try to go ahead of Matissa like this. But still a 4-way race. Our defending champ, Tadase Tekele, at the rear of this quartet. We're going to have, it's 1,200 meters to go. We're going to have a very, very, very dramatic last kilometer here. So I think safe to say we are going to see a winning time under 2:04 here at the Tokyo Marathon. Probably all four of these guys under 2:04. Who's got the kick? Left turn onto that cobblestone last kilometer right here. One long straightaway, and then just before the finish, a last left-hand turn. Three Kenyans, one Ethiopian. It's a nightmare for Matiso after that narrow loss in New York. But Matiso starting to flex now. Pulls ahead of Torotic. Tadase Tekele coming up on his other shoulder. It's a great finish. The last kilometer here, it's so narrow that the fans are really close, get a lot of energy and support, but it's frustrating because you can't see the finish line until the very last second. That last left-hand corner makes it so that you can't see what's coming. It can be frustrating for runners. But no frustration there for Matiso yet, just continuing to push. Looks like he has cracked Daniel Mateko. Appears to be down to three-way race, yes. Mateko looks to be out of it now. Torotic struggling to hang on to Matiso. Tekele now. Last year's winner, Tadase Tekele. Running on the inside of the course. It is going to be a left-hand turn, so Matiso is losing a little bit by going to the outside in this. looks like Tadase Takle now. A step ahead of Alexander Machiso. But Torotic hasn't given up yet. Love it. Defending champ, Tadase Takle still in the lead. There's 42 kilometers, still can't see the finish line. Looks like Torotic is going to try to go by on the inside, but Tadase Takle not having it. Alexander Machiso, looks like he's out of it. Yeah, Tadase Takle, seconds away from second straight Tokyo Marathon victory. Not quite as fast as last year, but Tadase Takle makes it 2 in a row at the 2026 Tokyo Marathon. 2:03:37 for the win. Jeffrey Torotic of Kenya. 2:03:37 also for second. Alexander Machiso, 2:03:38 for third place. Daniel Mateko of Kenya, 2:03:44 for fourth. Just a brilliant three-way sprint finish there after Mateko dropped off a little bit earlier. The great Mukhtar Edris coming through with a big PB, 2:04:08 unofficially for fifth place. 2:04:07, great for him. Italy's Ilias Anoani, not quite on that European record pace he hoped for, but a massive national record for the Italian. 2:04:27 unofficially. Could be 28. Let's see what the clock says. 2:04:26. 2:04:26 national record for Awani of Italy, the bronze medalist at last fall's Tokyo World Championships. And what do we have here? Osako has dropped Suzuki there, pulling up right up on Feng here. Feng of China just a minute away from setting a national record, trying desperately to hold off the Japanese national record holder. Tamru of Ethiopia, who they had run down earlier, seems to have pulled away again. But who's going to take top Asian honors here at the Tokyo Marathon? China's Feng, Japan's Osako. Feng looks like he's doing his part to hold it off. Certainly going to run a Chinese national record here. The only question is, will it be under 2:06? Feeling like yes. Yeah, Feng now dropping Osako. The Chinese athlete will outrun the Japanese athlete here, or will he? Osako digging deep. But looks like Feng's gonna hold him off. Tamer of Ethiopia comes through, 2:05:57. Feng, 2:05:58. Osako, 2:06 flat. We'll see those official times in a minute here. Yes, 2:05:58 national record for Feng of China. Osako, 2:05:59 officially. Suzuki, 2:06:09. Two national records so far here, Italy and China. Feng really stoked with that performance. Training partners for this Tokyo Marathon, Osako and Suzuki, Japan's all-time top two. Go 1-2 for Japan here, 2:05:59 and 2:06:09. Cam Levins coming through. Be just under 2:07. 2:06:50 or so. Last year's top Japanese man, Tsubasa Ichiyama, comes through as the third Japanese man. 2:06:57, two straight 2:06 performances here after 2:06:00 last year. Ryotaro Kondo, fourth Japanese man, 2:07:06. Again, the top 6 Japanese placers qualify for the LA Olympic Marathon Trials if under 2:09. That's 4 so far. Number 5, Shinsaku Kudo of Waseda University in his debut. Going to be around 2:07:30 for the 5th Japanese man. 2:07:35 unofficially there for Kudo. qualify for the LA Olympic trials. 2:07:34 officially. Kim Mignon there. 2:07:36 in his debut. I believe this is our third place woman in the race. Well day. Bridget Koske, our leader, went through 40 kilometers in 2:07:28. 2:07:28 for our leader. This is our third place, as I said, Bertikon Welde of Ethiopia. Our leader, Bridget Koske, just continuing to get faster and faster. 2:07:28 at 40 kilometers, projected to 2:14:28. Almost a minute and a half under the course record. Try to get a shot of her momentarily here.
Let's go, let's go, let's go!
There's official confirmation there. Koske, 2:07:28 at 40K. Going to completely rewrite the course record here in Tokyo. Koske has a PB of 2:14:04, which was a world record at the time in Chicago when she won in 2019. She's getting very close to that here. Third placer, Welde now through 40 kilometers. Welde appears to have moved into second place. I'm not sure what's happened to Situme Asafa Kebede. Okay, more men continuing to come in. Masato Arao just making it under the 2:10 mark, outrunning Ota. Seems to be struggling a bit there. Ota was second at last summer's Gold Coast Marathon, just ahead of Ryoma Takeuchi, who comes in just behind him again. It's got to be frustrating for Takeuchi. Just over 2:10:30 on the clock right now, so we're expecting to see our women's winner, Bridget Koske, here within the next 4 minutes or so. She's got to be heading into that last straight pretty soon here. Try to get a shot of that as soon as we can. Again, it's not really clear yet what's happened for second place in the women's race. Okay, there we have a split now. Yes, so at 40 kilometers, it's Koske leads by almost 2 minutes, but Bertikon Welde has moved into second place, 23 seconds ahead of our defending champ, Situme. And yeah, finally, here we are with Bridget Koske in the last kilometer. Just going to destroy the course record here. Getting very, very close to her PB. Her former world record of 2:14:04. Yeah, those splits tell the story. Koske really hitting it after 30 kilometers when Pacemaker stepped off. Short ways to go here to crown Bridget Koske as a 2026 Tokyo Marathon winner, her second Tokyo title in the last 5 years, having won in 2022 previously. All focus. brilliant race. She spent the whole time side by side with defending champ Kebede of Ethiopia. Really looked to be struggling more. Continues to wince periodically here, but she just really put the hammer down since 30 kilometers. She's got to know her PB is close. I mean, the course record is not really a question here. Less than 500 meters to go. Again, at 40 kilometers, her projected finish was down to 2:14.28, 24 seconds off of her PB. That's a lot to find over just a little bit more than 2 kilometers. Can she do it? How close to 2:14 flat can Kebede get here? Not going to be 2:14 flat. Looking under 2:14.30. And making that last turn. Massive course record here for Bridget Kosgei. Bridget Kosgei comes in for the Tokyo Marathon win. The massive 2:14.28 unofficial course record. We'll get official confirmation for time in a second. 2:14.29 officially for Bridget Kosgei. Almost a minute and a half off the Tokyo Marathon course record. Incredible performance. It's the second fastest time of her career. Incredible. I don't think anybody anticipated the race going quite that fast today. Really stellar run there. Getting some congratulations from the amateur Japanese runner who paced her much of the way. Yeah, pulling up from third to run down our defending champ. Bertagon Welde, 2:17.56 best. Is going to massively improve that here. On track for second place in Tokyo Marathon. Looking likely to take at least a minute off of her PB. Just a great run here from her. Again, this really builds on the fantastic 2025 that Bertagon had with her win in Prague in spring, followed by a 2:17.56 PB for second in Amsterdam. Yeah, 2:17.56 was that PB. Would be way under that today. Around 2:16.30 it looks like. So almost a minute and a half off of her PB. The Tokyo Marathon runner-up, Bertagon Welde. 2:16.36 officially, 2:16.36 officially. Massive PB for Tokyo Marathon runner-up, Bertagon Welde. Great run from her to hang on, run down our defending champ over the last couple of kilometers. And here comes our defending champion, Tsuchime Asuka Kebede of Ethiopia. It looks like she's got some competition right behind her. How we face her? Likely to hang on for third here. I think she knows. Fesa really trying to catch. Trying to make it a sprint finish here. Oh, Fesa gets it. Painful. 2:17.38. unofficially for Howie Fesa to run down defending champion Tsuchime Asuna right before the line for third place here in the Tokyo Marathon, knocking Kemine back to fourth. 2:17:38 to 2:17:39. Third last year, third again this year. Great run there, great finish from Howie Fesa. Cutting to our award ceremony here with our 2 straight men's champion, Tadase Tekele of Ethiopia. 2:03:37 is the official winning time there for our men's champion. Another great run from him to win in a 4-way sprint finish. Presenting the gold medal, Tokyo Governor Yuriko Koike. Presenting the laurel wreath to our champion is 2-time Olympic marathon medalist and head of the JAF, Yuko Arimori. And our champion's trophy goes to champion Tadase Tekele, presented by Mr. Akihiro Kosaka, president of major sponsor Tokyo Metro Co. Limited. Some great racing skills there on display from our men's champion Tadase Tekele to take his second Tokyo Marathon title, 2 in a row, both sub 2:04. Great run on a tough day. Looks like Mongolian marathon national record holder Serhat Badashir getting just under the 2:20 mark there. It was about 2:19:38 finish for him. Lots of others trying to get under that 2:20 barrier there. Sprint finishes. Not sure who that is, but he just got under, and yes, looks like that women's finisher was right on 2:20 flat, maybe 1 second under. That was Mestowit Fikir of Ethiopia, 2:20.00. Taking 7th place. No sign of Rosemary Wanjiru yet. Our past champion. We had Viola Cheptu of Kenya taking 6th place. 2:19.05. We had our first 8 finishers in yet. But still no sign yet of Rosemary Wanjiru. We haven't had any Japanese women come in yet. Still very, very fast times. The only Japanese woman in the field who had the PB close to this kind of level, Ai Hosoda. Really not running that kind of race today, so maybe a few minutes yet before we see a top Japanese finisher. This may be Wanjiru coming in here now. This is our 9th Japanese, or our 9th female finisher. No, sorry, that was Jeff Koske coming in 9th. Yes, Pascalia Jeff Koge. 9th place in the Tokyo Marathon with a 2:21.39 PB. That's good. Improvement on her PB by over 1 minute. Here's our top Japanese athlete, Ai Hosoda. Really extremely talented, 2:20.31 PB in Berlin, 2024, just a year and a half ago, but has announced that today is going to be her last race. She's already qualified for the LA Olympic Trials, but does not want to hang on for that. Said she hoped to go out with a negative split, a race that she could walk away from and smile. going to be an excellent time from her. You know, she's still at the top of her abilities, but gave a really interesting interview at the time that she announced her retirement, saying that she just felt that she had lost the motivation, her personal motivation, and found that she was just continuing on to try to meet others' expectations, and so wanted to put an end to things while she was still on top of her game. So a great run for her here. Going to be mid 223, 10th place for Ai Hosoda in her last race, last competitive race of her career. Congratulations to her. Ai Hosoda of Japan, retiring with a 10th place finish at the 2026 Tokyo Marathon. 2:23:40 unofficially, 2:23:39 official time on the clock. Great run. Lots of people would be happy to run that kind of time, but that's it for Ai Hosoda. Congratulations on a great career. So that's our top 10 in the women's race. Bringing to a wrap the front end of this year's Tokyo Marathon. Stellar race that saw wins from our favorites in the wheelchair race. Second win in a row from Tadesse Tekele of Ethiopia. National record for Italy from Elias Aouani. 2:04:26 for sixth. Just some great performances all around there. 4 under 2:04 is fantastic. Really brilliant national record there for Aouani. Also national record for Feng of China. He was like just outside the top 10. Yeah, Feng of China 11th. Our women's top 10. Bridget Kosgei, spectacular new course record here, 2:14:29 at the Tokyo Marathon. Great run for her. Big PB for second place for Bertakan Welde. Howie Fesa running down our defending champions, Sutume Asufa Kebede, at the line, both of them clocking in at 2:17:39. Further down the field, Japan's Ai Hosoda retiring with a 2:23:39. Great run for 10th place. And after one race, this is the Abbott World Marathon Majors Series 18 men's leaderboard. Our winners today, Takele and Kosgei, both lead with 25 points each. Ramping down to 1 point each for fifth placers, Mukhtar Idris and Megertu Alemu, both of Ethiopia. Wheelchair race, no surprise there. The great Marcel Hogue taking the win with a 1:21:09. Number 2 ranked Luo Jingchuan of China, 1:28:08 for second. And then Japan's Sho Watanabe, quite a ways back, third place, 1:33:10. Not sure what happened to Tomoki Suzuki. A race morning announcement of a withdrawal. Japanese national record holder, defending champ, course record holder. Find out post-race what his situation was. Take a look at the women's wheelchair results. Again, no surprises here. Catherine de Brunner of Switzerland, world record holder, course record holder, defending champ, wins it again, 1:37:15 with all-time number 2, Eden Rainbow Cooper, just holding off China's Zhao Qin for second, both of them clocking 1:41:13. It's a great performance from Zhao. Japanese national record, Tsubasa Nakamine, 7th, 1:41:20. Another photo finish against the great Wakako Tsuchiya, also of Japan. So as the masses continue to come in here, it's a beautiful shot there of Tokyo Station's Marunouchi side, really a scene of choice for the finish line of the current iteration of the Tokyo Marathon course. Very interesting races, I think, on both the men's and women's side in the elite marathons. I think there was a bit of uneasiness, perhaps, about the conditions, the impact that conditions would have On the flow of the race, the evolution of the race with rising temperatures, some wind expected, and then the cedar pollen problem in the air that arose yesterday. But relatively conservative starts in both the men's and women's marathons. Did produce very fast times. Massive new course record in the women's race. Not quite as fast as last year in the men's race for our two-time champion Tadase Chikele of Ethiopia, but still at 2:03:37. It's great. Thrilling three-way sprint finish there in the men's race. Hard to ask for more. Multiple national records here. National records at least for Italy and China. I'm just looking down to see. I don't spot Ireland's Curtin in there. I'm not sure if he got the Irish national record. We'll look a little bit deeper further on. But at least 2 national records here. Great day. Training partners for the Tokyo Marathon, Japan's all-time top 2 men, Osako and Suzuki, finish 1-2 on the Japanese podium. 2:05:59 and 2:06:09 for 12th and 13th. But Osako just losing out to China's Feng with a national record 2:05:58 for 11th. Fantastic run for Feng. Really taking Chinese marathoning to the next stage. And a look at our women's field here. Okay, yeah, so Ruth Wanjiru, our past champion, ended up at 11th place, well behind that stellar new course record of 2:14:29 by Bridget Kosuke. Ai Hosoda of Japan retiring with a 2:23:39 for 10th. Wanjiru coming in 2:24:47. Japan's a couple of Chinese athletes coming in 2:26. Excellent runs from them. Japan's Yumi Yoshikawa 2:27:21 for 14th. I believe that's just off what she needed to qualify for the Olympic trials. I believe that was 2:27 flat. She needed to qualify for the LA Olympic trials. So just off that, unfortunately. 17 women across the line so far. And looks like number 18 just coming across now. Again, deeper look at the results in our men's wheelchair race. Won by Marcel Hugen, 1:21:09. Excellent run from him. And momentarily we'll have a deeper look at our women's wheelchair results. There we go, top 10 in our women's wheelchair race. Catherine de Brunner winning 1:37:15. Eden Rainbow Cooper, all-time number 2, just holding off China's Zhao Quinn for second, 1:41:13 for both of them. Tatiana McFadden, fourth, 1:41:15, just back. Three-way sprint finish there for 5th with Japanese record holder Tsubasa Nakamine coming in 7th, 1:41:20. Tokyo Paralympics gold medalist Madison Rosario of Australia, 1:52:08 for 10th. And a look at the Series 18 bonus points. Both Hug and World Marathon Majors, Abbott World Marathon Majors Series 18 bonus points. Both Marcel Hug and Catherine de Brunner of Switzerland earned 8-point bonus for having been the top athlete through 10 kilometers in the wheelchair races. And again, As we saw in the men's and women's marathons, the elite marathons, here is our wheelchair race leaderboard for the Abbott World Marathon Majors Series 18. After just one race here in Tokyo today, Marcel Hogue and Catherine de Brunner make it a 1-2 lead, or a double lead for Switzerland with 33 points apiece. Going all the way down to Geert Schipper of Netherlands in 5th and Vanessa de Souza of Brazil in 5th with 1 point apiece. Of course, with more races still to come this season in Boston and London for the spring, I expect to see a lot more development on the leaderboards at both the elite level and the wheelchair race. But based on how the two Swiss athletes performed today, you could expect to see them looking pretty dominant in their further races this season. See a lot of happy faces here as people are coming in. Still a lot of laboring faces out on the course. Many hours, many miles to go for the masses here, but conditions possibly better than expected. It was a little bit on the warmer side of ideal, perhaps, as our top people were coming in. It is expected to keep getting a little bit warmer by the time some of these mass participation runners will reach the finish line. But maybe not as much of an issue as people feared. So Yoshikawa and Mori are top two Japanese women in the race today. Yoshikawa just missing out on qualifying for the Olympic trials, but solid PB for her, or sorry, not PB, solid run for her, following up on a half marathon PB in January. That's career second best marathon for her. The brunt of Japan's marathon season falls over about a 7-week